Yorgos Lanthimos is about to deliver his 10th film titled Bugonia, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. Are you ready for it? Let's talk spoiler free.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kurt.
Welcome back to Popcorn for Breakfast, the spoiler-free movie review podcast, YouTube station, website, blog.
Station.
That's right. That's right.
What year is this?
Well, you know, I bought us a Sirius XM station slot.
Coming to radio near you.
Yeah.
Very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it cost me my entire home.
Yeah.
And my firstborn child.
I bet. They really push you. They really are trying to hold on to the subscribers. I love radio.
Yeah.
By the way, just as an aside, radio is great. I used to work in radio. It's how I kind of fell in love with like this medium. Radio is great. I hope it never dies. It seems like it kind of is, understandably so, but I hope it never does.
I think Sirius is keeping radio alive. You know, you have the local radio stations, which is, you know, important because of traffic and weather. And
I
just
love local radio.
Local events. It's essential, right? And entertainment just alone, it's fantastic. And then you have Sirius, which you have basically every celebrity who's began a podcast is now also on Sirius.
That's right.
For like multi-million-dollar deals.
And one day we'll be on there.
We're already on there.
But for now, we're on our YouTube station, as Kirk said.
YouTube station /channel. You can check us out on our website, popcorn4breakfast.com. Today is very special because we are reviewing a movie called Bugonia. Am I saying that correctly, Cam?
That's how I've been saying it. It's a very fun word to say.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you say it like in your sleep?
I feel like I need to do like one of those like Ron Burgundy vocal exercises that involves Bugonia because I just enjoy saying the word.
Like Bugonia.
It also evokes like in my head for some reason My Sharona. I don't really know why.
Ooh, I
just
like that.
Kind of they go together.
Bugonia.
Yeah,
like that, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I like that a lot. Well, without further ado, so I just to tell you all, our listeners, my schedule is crazy. I was not able to see this film, but Cam and of course Stefano, you know him very well, was able to see this. Stefano, how the heck are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you all? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, Kirk.
It's been, saw Cam like 2 nights ago, but me, I've just been hiding in the darkness, waiting to get back into the movie theater.
Yeah, I think this is, you're not the biggest Yorgos guy.
I'm not.
Right? Like, well, I'll just, that no shade. It's just the way that it is. Some people don't like Yorgos because he is an acquired taste, I would say, or just a taste that some people don't like. So I think this was the right one. This was the right one for you to be like I almost questioned, did you really have obligations? Or was it just like a, hey guys, sorry, I have to work, I questioned it, but I know you're a man of integrity, so I won't question it any farther.
I was working. I am very interested to see if this is a Yorgos movie that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I've peeked around at some, not like super big spoilers, but just like, just overall feel for this film that's been released too early. So yeah. I'm very fascinated, very excited to see if my perspective will be changed, at least for his 10th film that you guys got to watch.
Yep. Let's get into it.
Well, before we do, Bugonia. What is a Bugonia? We got to talk about this. The first question is it a flower? I don't know. Stefano, did you find out if this is a flower?
Bugonia with the letter E instead of a U. Begonia is a flower. And for the longest time, I thought, oh, that's what we're talking about here. But it's absolutely not that. Different word completely.
Perfect. There's probably like somewhere in the film, maybe a play on that with flowers you guys can talk about.
Well, it's the very first shot, right? Like the first shot that we get is like bees.
And a
like
flower.
Pollinating.
Well,
pollinating
that's interesting because Google's AI told me what Bugonia should mean. It means...
So then it's completely wrong?
Yeah, usually.
The definition that Google AI gave me is that a Bugonia was an ancient Mediterranean belief that bees could spontaneously generate from a cow's carcass through a specific ritual.
Well, there you go. Mediterranean, Yorgos.
Yeah.
He's Greek, right? And so you get that. You get the B connection. There it is.
Flower.
I'm shocked. I'm learning for the first time that this is a real word with a real definition. So I thought it was gibberish, and I was totally on board with that.
Yes. Stick around for the end of this episode where we will be performing a Bugonia ritual. Strap in. I brought the cow carcass. It's in your living room.
Oh, that's. I just thought it was you. Yeah, my bad.
Well, today's a very special episode, not only because Stefano is joining us, which is always great to have, but we're going to be doing something completely different. Did you see my crazy movement there, Cam?
Yeah, I like
Stefano, can you show us some crazy movement?
No.
He's not capable of it.
Fantastic. I'll get you to move later on. So what we'd like to do is open up how we speak about some of our films, and tonight it's going to be in 3 different rounds. So round 1, round 2, round 3, very easy, right? In those rounds, each of you will get to talk about a category of the film, whether it's one of the 5 categories that we typically talk about, or if it's something completely off the wall that has nothing to do with that, or something brand new that you'd like to insert into the zeitgeist of the Popcorn for Breakfast universe.
Love it.
And this perfect YouTube station, as we discussed. So, So I'm going to go ahead. I get the honor, since I didn't see the movie, to select who goes first and throw you out to the complete wolves. Cam, what would you like to discuss here in round 1?
Oh, man. Poor Stefano.
No, this is good. I usually go first because I'm the guest. So
okay, you guys will have to keep me in check because I don't know if I'm like casting too wide a net with some of these. But for me, the one thing I want to talk about, I'm gonna be somewhat narrow. Jesse Plemons, because I feel like all the talk in this movie is about Emma Stone. All the buzz in our world of like film news and things like that is like, best actress. Is it going to be Emma Stone for Bugonia, or is it going to be Jessie Buckley for Hamnet? And that's kind of the discussion. And I haven't seen Hamnet yet. These discussions are always a little bit silly because it's like nobody has seen both of these yet. So it's like, who's deciding this? It's like just the powers that be or whatever. But the performance that really blew me away in this movie was Jesse Plemons. I thought he was awesome. His character is one of one. I mean, just like totally his own thing. I don't recall ever really seeing a character like this before. There are so many layers to it. It's a character that just like right out of the gate is an extremely sad character.
Okay.
You know, we learn very early on that something has happened in his life. And this movie sort of unfolds like a mystery. And so you get little pieces as you go, and you're kind of putting the puzzle together. But we learn right out of the gate, like something bad has happened to him and his family, and he feels wronged. And so you're already sad for him. But the layers of what unfolds, you couldn't ever predict. But I think that's what makes this performance so genius. And it applies both to him and really to Emma Stone's character as well. But they know what we do not, right? Like they've read the script. And so they have to let this unfold in a way that keeps us picking up things at the right times and is consistent throughout. And man, he's so consistent and he's so creative. Like he's so creative in this performance. He's doing all sorts of things. This character feels like a totally real person, like one that is, that you haven't met, but you wouldn't be surprised if they're out there, and just like their own thing. And I thought Jesse Plemons was great. I often enjoy him, but this was the first time I can remember watching one of his performances and being like, wow, that's like generational talent.
Wow.
So that's where I want to go.
I think, and I'm just going to build on that. Like it's definitely more of a co-lead performance, which is very rare in he's such a talented character actor. And I'm glad that he's finally has this kind of co-lead role where, you know, hopefully he shows up, you know, Oscar night as a nomination at least, but I think he'd probably be in the lead category. One thing I also wanted to touch on in his performance is just the physicality of it. There's a lot of really good physical acting from everybody in here, but Jesse Plemons in particular, you know, the way his costume fits on him, his outfits, his facial hair, and the way that all plays into his role was amazing. So kudos to Jesse Plemons.
That's fantastic. He's been terrifying me ever since his character in Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's still terrifying here.
Yeah, he's so fantastic, and one of my top movies, Civil War, that people don't understand.
Yes, also terrifying there. So we're finding a theme here.
He's terrifying in Game Night as well.
That's true,
just in a different way. Yeah.
How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay? Oh, that's fantastic. So then, in this round one, I've already forgotten the rules as the host, so I'm doing a great job. So, Stefano, what would you like to talk about that's not Jesse Plemons?
I want to go. I'm going to go with something that kind of piggybacks off of like why his performance was so successful. Is the tone of this film? I think is exceptional. It's so hard to be a true dark comedy and not feel like you're overdoing it or you're underdoing it. And, it's, the folks that are watching it aren't kind of picking up what you're laying down. But I think this is probably Yorgos's funniest movie, even though some moments of it might be some of the saddest in his entire filmography. But I think so much of this is seriously funny. A lot of that relies on Jesse Plemons' physical acting. There's also a really good performance in here from Aidan Delbus, and he is also knocking out of the park with his physicality and with because the movie at its core, IMDb synopsis is these two, potential cult type members kidnap a company's CEO. So the whole, beginning portion of this film, they're basically going to kidnap Emma Stone, and just the physical humor you get from this is amazing. It's, it's unsettling as well because the subject matter gets pretty dark, but there's a lot of funny moments in it. And when we were in that theater, and it was just a critic screening this go around, and I think a lot of people found some humor in a lot of these moments. So love the tone of it.
I think Yorgos's 11th film should be an actual lighthearted musical. I think that he deserves that for his own psyche and to breathe a little. What do you guys think?
I don't think he's capable of not being bleak.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I don't know if it's just maybe he's just coping through art, and maybe he's like a very centered person generally. I don't know. I obviously don't know him personally, but everything I've ever seen of him is bleak. And to Stefano's point, this may be his funniest movie yet. It may also be his bleakest. That's what's crazy about it. It is on both ends of that spectrum at different points.
That's crazy. Totally. We can't tell you exactly why because it is spoiler free, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to move on to round two. Cam, tell us something more about this film that you're screaming to talk about.
No, we go to Stefano here, I think.
Just kidding.
Snake. We'll snake.
Quiet right now, Cam. Stefano, you have the floor.
So I think something I liked so much about it as well, which is a far cry from what we saw with Poor Things, was the minimalism of the set and the setting of the whole film. So, we go to a couple different places here and there, but the majority of this film takes place at Jesse Plemons' house, in his basement and his dining room. And I just love the tension that is built from, three characters for the majority of the runtime, just kind of being in this small space. You don't know what's happening. There's still a lot going on in the outside world that, people are looking for Emma Stone because she's missing, there's all kinds of other stuff going on, but you only really know what's happening within the confines of this house. And so I think that tension is really ratcheted up because of it. And I love that, with how sprawling something like Poor Things was, that Yorgos was able to be as effective in this small setting. I can see a play or a stage version of this movie working well because so much of it is just kind of dialogue in a small space. So really appreciated his use of the house, the setting, and how he was able to kind of build that into the majority of the story.
That's fascinating. It makes me think of this movie. I don't know how many people saw this. It's a movie called Small Engine Repair. Have either of you seen this?
No.
Okay. It's got John Bernthal, Shea Wiggum, and this guy who absolute out of nowhere, John Polano, I believe his name is. Fascinating story. It was a play first, and then it got adapted in a similar way. There's a kidnapping, and there's only a few settings, and it's in a small engine repair shop. It's a small auto shop that they happen to take this the kidnapped person, right? So I'm very fascinated if Yorgos has seen that at all. If he saw the play maybe and he said, "I've got a whole different take on this." But I also love that there's minimal settings, because usually his stage is grand. So that's fantastic that he's like such a switch for him.
Yeah, it's all about the details too, right? Like I feel like you know, I've seen a couple movies this year. I actually thought about this during the Smashing Machine as well, where it's like the stuff on the shelves, the stuff like if you're in a home, like it needs to feel like a home, and in this case, it needs to feel like a very specific kind of home. You know, like this is Jesse Plemons' home, but it's like his family home, and so it has to feel, there has to be clues about kind of like who this guy is, what he comes from. All of that, and the level of detail on that is crazy. Sometimes I don't understand how they do it. Like I genuinely like have a hard time wrapping my head around it. It's like, did they just find a family that like meets like their requirements? Is like, hey, can you guys move out for 3 weeks? We're gonna shoot a movie here. Just leave everything exactly how it is. We'll clean up when we're done. Like I genuinely don't know, but that was the case here, where I'm just like, wow, what an insane level of detail.
And you bring up a really good point there, Kim, because, you know, the audience is seeing this home for the first time, and so is Emma Stone's character. So there's so much intentionality to like, they're seeing what she's seeing, and is she uncovering what we're uncovering? It's awesome.
Yep, for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Okay. Cam, I believe it is your turn. You may now speak.
Okay, this is where it kind of gets broad, as I was talking about before. I'm just going to go with sound in general in this movie, because I think both from the perspective of the score and the sound design. First of all, the score is exceptionally unique. There are aspects of this story that needed to be represented musically in the score, but those aspects of the film, like, so this movie, for all intents and purposes, is like super grounded on the surface, but there are elements of this story, there are elements of who Jesse Plemons' character Teddy is that need to be explored thematically, musically, etc., that evoke like a whole different motif. You know, I'm trying real hard to stay spoiler free here, but like it's really a necessary piece, and so the score has these like really different tones and feels.
So you're saying this is a musical? Is that what you're trying to spoil?
No, it's definitely not. But I love that they were able to convey that and commit to it and not be scared of like, is this going to be too weird musically? Like, is this going to take people out? Because I thought it actually was the exact opposite effect. I thought it was really perfect. And then the other part is sound design, which goes into it. When to have sound and when not to have sound. There are moments where they give you no sound and you just, you know, you hear nothing, or you hear things through a wall or what have you. Like there's all these different choices to give you the perspective of the characters via how the sound is being transmitted through the film. There's also times where they cut the sound out altogether and swell that score in a really big way to create big dramatic moments, particularly like as you would expect in the latter part of the film when things are kind of coming to a head. So that for me was great. They also use it for comedy in the early part of the movie, like during the kidnapping scene that's going down. It's like you hear nothing and you're just like looking out a window and there's no sound, and then here comes Emma Stone, here comes Jesse Plemons like right behind her trying to tackle her.
Excellent. It's
just like very, very funny, but really smart use of sound, and I thought it really helped with that tone that Stefano was talking about, the tone of the film.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, totally. All the parts kind of sung together beautifully. You know, so.
Well, just an update for me here at the end of round 2. You guys are selling me that I think I would like this movie so far.
It's because we can't spoil anything. The non-spoiler stuff's why you would hate it.
That is 100% true.
100%. Oh, wow.
100% true.
I'll have to be a conversation after if I'm old enough to see this movie. I would like to go to snaking, right?
Yep.
But it goes back to you for round 3, Cam.
Yeah, last one I want to hit on is just commitment to the premise. I love when a director is committed to their premise, when they're willing to see it through, no matter what that means, you know, no matter how far they have to go. And that's something I've always admired about Yorgos. So this is really just me getting a chance to talk about what I admire about Yorgos as a director, is that he will go wherever he's fearless. You know what I mean? Like he will go where he needs to go to make sure that his movie says what he wants it to say, you know? And it's not to the point of like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm saying. It's not that. He's not taking interpretation out of it, but he's going to make you think the thoughts. He's going to make you ask yourselves the questions that he wants you to ask. Mm-hmm. And whatever answers you come up with, like that's between you and the Lord, I guess, you know, like that's what that is. Like, but I love when a movie puts you in a position of introspecting and asking yourself these questions and thinking, what did that mean? He did this for an intentional reason. Why? Yeah. And then having that dialogue with yourself. That's where movies become powerful. That's where art like really has the ability to change people and change, you know, the world really, like in general. Not that Bugonia necessarily is going to change the world unless tons and tons of people see it and it's really influential, but generally that's what art is supposed to do. And so I love how this all comes together and how far he's willing to take it to make sure that people are asking themselves those questions. They can't escape it. And he's fully committed. I've seen so many movies this year. I've been really ramping up the movies recently, and I've seen so many movies. We were just talking about A House of Dynamite recently, like in the group chat. Like that movie betrays its premise. It doesn't know where it wants to go. It doesn't know where it wants to land, and I don't like where it lands. You know, and it's like I've seen other movies this year where I'm just like, can you just commit to what you're trying to do and what effect you want this film to have? And so often people don't, and it's either, you know, who knows, maybe it's the studio, maybe it's what have you. If it's an adapted screenplay, maybe it's the rights holder, who knows. But this is not the case here. This is a fully fledged, fully committed vision that is executed at a very high level.
I love what you said about you know, that's between you and the Lord specifically, is because it's like, you know, whatever you're feeling about the movie, Yorgos as the director wants you to feel something. Yeah. He doesn't necessarily know what it will make you feel. I find that really reflective, because there's movies that I start watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at this. And then I urge myself to not turn it off. I urge myself to continue to watch the whole movie, because I'm like, what if I don't? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way about this character or these characters or this setting? And then I fight through that, and I'm like, okay, is that the right reaction? I don't know. Is that what the director wanted? I don't know. But I'm gonna lock in here and see how I feel in the total story. I felt like that a lot with PTA and One Battle After Another. There were so many different things happening that I had all these different reactions, and I was like, where am I right now? And so that's fantastic that Yorgos elicits that type of emotion as well.
Yeah, and I think like that internal dialogue can't happen if you put too fine a point on what you're, you know, if you try to guide it too much and say, no, this is what I'm telling you. Here it is. Like, I'm telling you this. Like, that's it. Right. And I don't think that's why I hate when that happens.
Right. Like what's the line at the beginning of Madam Web that they took out about the spiders? It's too on the nose, right? Like,
right. We don't want to be on the nose.
We don't want you to feel exactly this, right? Like too much exposition. So,
and it's great that Yorgos has so many films to have earned it, but he's earned everybody's trust. You know, obviously there are people that don't like his films, and that's okay, but what we're watching is his vision no matter what. You know, there's been no studio meddling, and this is why he has so many return customers in regards to castmates and cast members. Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Emma Stone, like these are all A++ actors, and they see something in his writing and in his directing that elicits something out of everybody. So that's why, you know, they keep working with him, and people keep watching his movies. So
I'm going to get you guys like punch cards that says Yorgos return customer.
Another satisfied customer.
I'm your number one customer. Just like that. So Stefano, you have the floor. What you want to discuss?
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Cam was saying. But I think what really struck me the most was it's basically what Yorgos in the film was just trying to say about the characters within its film and humans outside of the film. And this, you know, his films can move you in certain ways, make you feel certain things. And I found this film to be particularly affecting, more than even, you know, Poor Things or other films I've seen more recently. There's reasons why I might like Poor Things more than this, yada, yada. But just emotionally, this is a very affecting film. A lot of, introspection from the characters, a lot of, meaning of life thoughts, questions, and conversations, the planet, what we're doing to it, what we're not doing to it, what are we even, what is our purpose as a humanity? And it's all, it feels so heavy and so bleak, and it can be, but I think that he told this story and elicited these feelings and raised these questions in such an outstanding way that I found it to be so effective and really compelling. So that's something that really kind of, it all felt nicely put together. And, it goes with Cameron was saying here with, Yorgos, what the full way and to deliver, what his vision was.
100%.
I am guessing your scores right now. I'm typing it out.
You're actually guessing that?
I am. I'm typing out what I think you will give this movie.
Thankfully, Stefano goes first because we're snaking. So I'm just gonna. I'll just go lower than him. No, I'm just kidding. I have my score. It's written down. I'm not a cheater.
And I will reveal what I think you guys voted.
Mine's
for
in my spreadsheet.
That's right.
Of course it is.
That's perfect. So Stefano, so what we won't divert away from his last looks here. So we want to know what your final thoughts are on our Bugonia before we tear open this cow carcass in our ritual.
We gotta get going. The time is nigh.
I got suits for all of us. And,
honestly, with this episode structure, I feel like I was able to get out everything I wanted to talk about.
Oh, good.
In a positive light. If I had any gripes with it, I know, sometimes we have like a director's shoes. I don't know, like there's maybe a little bit in the middle segment where you kind of see and hear the same thing over and over again a little bit. I think there was some intentionality to it though, because, we have Emma Stone's character, Michelle, kidnapped. So she's kind of just waking up every day and not really knowing what's going on. And, you kind of want to elicit that emotion with the audience, but there's a little bit of tedium there where it's like, okay. We weren't able to touch on, there's a dinner scene, of course, because you have dinner with your kidnappers, but there's just like a dinner scene here, and it strikes up some amazing conversation, and it's probably one of my favorite scenes from any film this year. So that was can't really talk about it, obviously, but just wanted to bring that point up. And score-wise, I'm going with a nice round 9.0 on Bugonia.
Okay. I thought you were going to go 9.6. I shot high.
Yeah, no. Good stuff, Stefano. I think for me, I think this is one of the movies this year where I was just totally glued to it the entire time. I loved how it kept me on my toes. It kept me in a position, I mentioned it has kind of almost a mystery structure to it where you don't know the answers to all the things as it's unfolding. And I love that. And I continued to search for truth, and I continued to ask myself, would they do this? No, they wouldn't do that. Or maybe they would do that. I just throughout the whole film trying to figure out and put the puzzles together and understand where it's going. I do think this is going to be a very polarizing movie. I mean, I think that's kind of how Yorgos goes. I mean, you remember like when Poor Things came out, and that might even be considered somewhat tame compared to this, but that was a very
what?
Well, I just mean in terms of like, I don't know. There are elements of how this film is executed that I think will be like really controversial and cause people to just be like, that was the dumbest thing ever. I really do feel like there will be some of that. I mean, we
like Poor Things is more like has more graphic nudity, and there's like no graphic nudity here, but just there's other things that may stir up something that people don't appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. So controversial in a different way of just people being like, I mean, we talked to a couple of critics like right after the screening, and some of them were just like, well, hated that.
Like if you didn't appreciate or like some of Yorgos's previous films, like I don't think this is the movie that'll convert.
Okay.
No, it's very much a Yorgos movie, and it's So I mean, like there are elements to it which I kind of hate that. I would love for us to all link arms and be like, yes, this is an objectively good movie, but like that's not going to be the case that with this one for sure. But for me, it's one that I really, really like. It's one that I, like Stefano said, I found it very affecting. I found it very effective. I found it just really well executed, top to bottom. I one of the people that we talked about after the screening said the pacing was bad. Like I said, I was totally glued the whole time. I didn't find the pacing to be an issue whatsoever. I loved really most of it in general, and I love how it all comes together. So I was at a 9.2 out of 10.
I had you at a 9.2 out of 10.
Whoa, wow, that's pretty good.
Show us.
Share with the class.
How do I turn my computer that is housing
Just screenshot
my camera?
it. We'll look at it later.
Okay, cool. That's fantastic. Wow. Okay, so here's the $1 million question. Would I like it? I've not seen Poor Things. I saw The Favorite. I saw The Lobster.
So I haven't seen The Lobster. Stefano.
I've seen it.
Okay. Kirk, you like The Lobster. I think that's
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would say out of all of those, this is closest to that.
Okay.
I mean, the Lobster is probably one of the more grounded ones, and The Favorite being a kind of a period piece doesn't really mesh well.
I like how you said The Lobster's more grounded, given the premises they turn into an animal at the end of their stay.
But when you're talking about Yorgos, like that spectrum starts pretty weird in general.
Yes.
Like
honestly,
grounded for him is like zany for somebody else.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this
honestly,
is one.
I think you would like it, and I think because of, like I was saying before, there's so many elements to that mimic like a stage play. I think you would find some enjoyment out of that. So.
Well, boys,
I pondered the question like right after we saw it. I was like, would Kirk like this?
Because, we talked about it in the parking lot.
Yeah, and I was like, I think where I landed was yes, because I know that you appreciate a really good story, and I think how this all comes together, like I think you would have a hard time poking a bunch of holes in it, and I think that you would have to be like, tip your cap to it, like I just really do.
That's fantastic.
Well, as much as you like go after certain types of films for being too this or too that, like sometimes you are like, if it is executed well and the vision is clear and like they knocked it out of the park, like you're going to give it its flowers regardless of what it is. That's one of the things I really respect about you as a critic. So for that reason, yes, I think you'd like it.
Fantastic.
For that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out.
Well, the cow carcass ritual is canceled. I'm actually going to go roll out and see Bugonia at the 10:45 showing right now. That is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us here on Popcorn for Breakfast. Thank you, Stefano, for joining us and going to see this movie. Bravo. Any final words that you'd like to say before we send you off into your virtual land?
No, thanks for having me. I have a couple of reviews coming out soon.
Yes.
Just ongoing.
Shelby Oaks, right?
Shelby Oaks. I guess I'm trying to figure out when this lands. That Shelby Oaks review is probably out already by the time this is live.
Okay.
Who knows?
Oh yeah, I hate
That's fun.
When are we recording? When are we releasing? It's just like
Yeah, we're like a factory now, guys. Maybe a sweatshop. I don't know. There's so many articles that
the
we're
pay
writing.
is low, the hours are hard. Yes.
None of us are sleeping. We're doing AI to correct the redness in our eyes right here and the bags under them. So thank you so much, ChatGPT, and anyone else. What's the
Don't
guys?
ever think ChatGPT.
No, now we're getting doxxed.
I just want to thank them so we don't get attacked when the world ends.
Okay,
that's all
fair.
I want to do.
Smart.
That's all I want to do.
Fair.
Well, again, thank you so much for listening and watching the spoiler-free movie review podcast. Like, heart, subscribe, follow to all of our places. Check out all of the written reviews. Listen to all of the reviews. Watch all of our reviews on our website at popcorn4breakfast.com. That's popcorn4breakfast.com. Can't miss the 4 the second
you
time.
got me on the second one.
He usually does. All the video content is there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, and any other social media platforms. All content's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you might listen to podcasts. I don't know what those things are. A special thank you to our title sponsor, St. Louis area Smoothie Kings. Special thanks to our executive producer and audio specialist, Ryan Spriggs, and the band Rhetoric for all the music you hear on this podcast. Thank you so much. We will talk to you guys soon.
See ya.